Hey everyone, and welcome back to The Explainer. Okay, today we are diving into what is honestly a storyteller's absolute ultimate superpower, and that is accurately reporting conversations. Whether you're just gossiping with a friend or writing a formal essay, figuring out how to smoothly shift between exactly what someone said and the general meaning of what they said is absolutely crucial in English grammar. So let's see how this all works. Here is our roadmap for today. First up, definitions. Then Rule 1, back-shifting tenses. Rule 2, pronoun adjustments, and changing time and place. Finally, we'll look at reporting questions and commands, and wrap up with some important exceptions. Section 1, direct versus indirect speech. So why do we actually need two completely different ways to quote people? Well, let's look at direct speech first. I want you to think of this as the witness quote. When you use direct speech, you are preserving the exact authentic words of the speaker exactly as they fell out of their mouth. Because you're borrowing their exact words, you absolutely must enclose them in quotation marks. As one of our sources points out, in direct speech, you even retain the original speaker's tense and word order, which means it doesn't even have to be grammatically correct. You are just capturing their authentic voice, totally unaltered. Now contrast this with indirect speech, which you'll also hear called reported speech. If direct speech is the witness quote, indirect speech is basically the police report. You aren't quoting them exactly, you are just paraphrasing the meaning. And because it's a paraphrase, you don't use quotation marks. Instead, you're adjusting the grammar, the pronouns, the tenses, to fit your own perspective as the narrator, which usually means placing the event in the past. Let's compare the two. Imagine someone directly stating, "I am going to the market." The quote marks anchor us right to that original speaker. But when we switch to reported speech, we'd say, "She said that she was going to the market." Did you catch what happened? The quotation marks disappear entirely. The pronoun shifts from I to she. The tense shifts from am to was. The entire perspective has completely shifted from the speaker over to the reporter. To make that transformation happen smoothly, literally every single time, we use a foolproof three-step formula. Step 1, backshift the tense. Step 2, adjust the pronouns. Step 3, change time and place references. It's essentially a distancing effect. We are actively moving the sentence away from the original speaker's present reality and bringing it into our own reported reality. Section 2, Rule 1, backshifting tenses. Because we're usually reporting something that was said in the past, often introduced by a reporting verb like said or told, our verbs inside the reported clause need to take a literal step back in time. Present simple shifts to past simple. Present continuous to past continuous. Present perfect shifts all the way back to past perfect. Even modal verbs step back, so the future will becomes would and can becomes could. We are essentially pulling the original statement backward through time to perfectly match the exact moment it was spoken. Look at how elegant this backshift is in practice. In the direct quote, the verb is love, present simple, but because our reporting verb said is in the past, love seamlessly backshifts to loved in the past simple. She said that she loved ice cream. Notice how we can also add the word that to introduce the reported words, though honestly it's often optional. Section 3, Rule 2. Pronoun adjustments. Since the speaker has changed, our point of view has to change too, right? In direct speech, she speaks for herself using the first person, I am ready. But when reporting it, we are speaking about her. So the pronoun I transforms into she to match our perspective as the narrator. It completely strips away the original speaker's direct voice and integrates their thought fully into our own sentence structure. Section 4, changing time and place. Just like tenses, time and place words have an expiration date. They express a sense of nearness to the original speaker. When we report them later, we have to adjust them to express distance. Think about it. If someone says they are doing something today, but you report it a week later, today makes no sense at all. It becomes that day. Tomorrow becomes the next day. Yesterday turns into the day before. And this applies to physical space too. If they said it here while sitting in a coffee shop, but you're reporting it later at home, here becomes there. This becomes that. We are translating their local reality into our distant reality. All right, let's put all three of our rules together. Direct quote, I will see you tomorrow, he said. Step 1, pronouns. I becomes he, and you becomes me. Step 2, backshift. Will steps back to would. Step 3, time. Tomorrow becomes the next day. The result? He said that he would see me the next day. Pretty masterful storytelling, right?
Section 5. Reporting questions and commands.
Now, conversations are way more than just reciting facts. We ask questions too. But think about a direct question, like, do you like coffee? It relies heavily on the helper verb do. When we report it, we actually don't use those helper verbs at all, and we definitely don't use a question mark. So how do we bridge that gap? For yes-no questions, the absolute secret is using the words if or whether. Look at the direct speech. Do you like this shirt? He asked. In indirect speech, our reporting verb changes from said to asked. We bring in if, totally drop the auxiliary verb do, and return the sentence to standard subject-verb order while applying our regular backshift rules. He asked if I liked this shirt. The question mark vanishes entirely because we're no longer asking a question. We are making a statement about a question. Now, commands are even easier. We don't backshift the verbs at all. Instead, we use a strong reporting verb like told, asked, or ordered, followed by to plus the verb. Sit down, she said. This smoothly transforms into, she told me to sit down. If it's a negative command, like don't be late, you literally just add not. He told me not to be late. It is incredibly efficient. Section 6. Important grammar exceptions. Well, just when you think you have the rules locked down, there's a twist. Sometimes we leave the tenses entirely alone. This happens in 3 specific scenarios. First, if your introductory reporting verb is actually in the present tense, like he says instead of he said. Second, if the original statement is universal truth or scientific fact. And third, if the situation is still currently highly relevantly true right now at the exact moment you are reporting it. Here is a perfect example of that universal truth exception. Direct. He said, the sun rises in the east. Even though our reporting verb said is in the past tense, we do not backshift rises to rose. Why? Because it's a literal fact of nature. The sun still rises in the east today, just as it did when he said it. So the indirect speech remains, he said that the sun rises in the east. Logic and common sense completely override the backshifting rule here.